Hi, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about, extraterrestrials possibly being benevolent beings or angels who've watched over mankind for quite some time. I've had some strange things happen around me lately. Forces that don't show themselves necessarily, but make themselves known that they're there. And then also I've seen things that I'm not sure can be trusted. To be honest with you, say non-benevolent beings. It's kind of sad because you know I've had unexplained extraterrestrial experiences. I've always had strange things happen to me throughout my life, but I never really thought much of it. I've always had a very strong gut instinct. It's saved my life. It's kept me out of trouble, out of harm's way. Also, at one point, it did save another person's life. Um, uh, you know, just one thing that kind of bothers me is that people have been brainwashed throughout the years to make fun of people who have had experiences like I have. We wear foil hats and we're crazy, and it's sad because I've even come across this from my own friends and family, sadly. Just yesterday, someone pretty much called me crazy, and it's someone who I've loved and trusted almost my entire life, and we're good friends, and it's bad enough that they really don't want to hear what I have to say, because ultimately I'm making these videos out of love. I'm trying to help everybody. I'm trying to get you guys all prepared for what's coming. And you guys would rather just call me crazy, which in itself is very dismissive. It's sad. Crazy is just a dismissive kind of thing. It's not even like you guys don't even sit and think like, hey, he's never done anything like this, and he's not known to be a liar. I don't expect you guys to believe everything I say. I say things that sometimes I come back and say, okay, I was wrong about this. Because a lot of this, is stuff I'm learning for the first time myself, and it's not like I'm being given direct answers. I'm being led to find the answers. And in my search, I come across a lot of bullshit. Honestly, I do. That's there's truth out there, and then there's a lot of disinformation. And I've been sorting through so much stuff to try and find the truth that's out there. And I try not to say anything unless I know it to be true. Now, today I'm talking about my personal experiences, so I know this to be true. This is what happened to me. So, when I was young, I had an encounter with a benevolent force and also an evil forces. So once I was pegged to be part of once the benevolent forces approached me as a child, I actually did have evil beings come to me as well, and I think a lot of that was to try and confuse me. They did some heinous stuff to me, but I never really held on to like the bad things that happened to me. Because it didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why would these beings like show me things, and I would have a sense of security in stuff with them, and not a threatening manner with them. And then all of a sudden they would come back and just do some heinous shit to me. Like, I don't even want to get into it, but I've experienced some bad things as well. It didn't dawn on me until I was an adult that when these benevolent beings kind of tag you, the bad ones come after you as well. Now there must be some kind of cosmic rule. Because most people are like, why didn't they just kill you or whatever and be done with it? But I think there's some kind of cosmic rule that they can't, because if they do, it comes back on them way worse. So it's like having the armor of God on you. You're wearing the armor of God, you're protected, kind of thing. I've always believed in a higher power. I believed in God my entire life. I've always believed that there was something beyond us. I mean, especially with what happened with me. But my own friends would rather call me, dismiss me as crazy or losing my head or whatever. But I've never been saner in my entire life. You know, it's just they don't want to, like. There's millions of people who've had experiences like me, millions. It's documented. I never really came out when things happened to me because for one, I was told not to. It wasn't something I was supposed to be sharing, because then it would put a target on me. Now, since I've come across Corey Good and heard his whole story, like how everything started with him and how things progressed, it dawned on me, like, so after these beings approached me, there was a woman who used to come to my elementary school, and she would give me these strange tests. Like, they told me it was to help me with my math skills. Now, I was in like kindergarten, first grade when she started coming, and it was like a once a week thing. She would pull me out of class, and I would go to a private room in the library at my elementary school, and she would give me these tests. Some of the tests were like trying to guess like certain shapes that were coming. Like, she would have flashcards, and I would have to try and guess the shape that was going to be next that she was going to show me. There was some number problems, also some picture problems. Like, I had to figure out like what like a pattern of things and stuff like that. Now, I'm guessing I never really scored very high because I didn't end up going into the program that Corey ended up in. But these benevolent beings apparently pick people who have a very good intuition and a gut instinct kind of thing. And anyone who really knows me, who's been around me, has seen probably this happen with me at least once in their life. I have a very strong intuition. My body speaks to me. I've had some problems in my life, and my body was screaming at me to figure it out, get it fixed. It physically crippled me at times. In all honesty, I mean, my gut instinct is very strong, and I've always trusted it. And, well, there was times where I didn't. So, but, I mean, I won't let that happen again. Anyway, I digress. But, there's been a lot of pickup of, UFO activity lately. There was a fireball that fell into the water off of California, and many people filmed it falling out of the sky. And the next thing you know, there's a huge search crew out there off the coast of California, probably right now still, trying to look for whatever fell in the water. I've also heard that other reports that there's a North Korean submarine floating around or somewhere over there off the coast of California that may have some nuclear weapons on it, and that's what they're looking for. So really, I think that's more of a cover story or not. I don't know. I've seen some video of the fireball falling out of the sky in California, and maybe they're looking for both. Who knows? All I know is the world right now is a huge powder keg. It's waiting to go off, and I'm just putting these videos out here to warn you guys. There's riots planned for this weekend that I'm aware of. It's actually, if you look on the Black Lives Matter website, they have it scheduled as marches, but we all know how things like that go, especially as of late. A lot of these groups are planning on having marches, and these are really what they are. They're George Soros funded riots. George Soros has funded a lot of these groups that are supposed to march on Easter weekend of all weekends. So think about that. And there's been some talk about Jesus being resurrected from destruction come Easter, which I don't know what Easter these evil satanic guys are talking about, but if you have plans for this weekend, I'm not trying to scare you out of them, but just use caution. Don't if God forbid a riot cracks off where you're at, don't get involved. Stay away from it. By all means, try to be as safe as possible. I'm gonna take precautions here myself because we have some plans this weekend. So anyway, live in God's word. Don't give in to this insanity that's about to just happen. Don't give in to it. You know, just don't. And to all my friends that think I'm crazy, I can understand it being on the other side of the fence here, and I don't blame you. I'm not upset with you. It hurts that you guys are gonna dismiss me as just being insane, but I forgive you. I'm not mad at you guys or anything. It's kind of saddening. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the video there. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.